don't know why I did it. Something overnight went wrong with this ATEM Mini, and it just added a 5 to 6 second delay on it. But I appreciate that. So welcome again to another live stream. So this is second part of part 4 of Prime Day deals. We're going to show you real deals. If you want to see some fake deals, check out part 1. There was some, fake deals that I showed you. But what I'm showing you right now are 100% real deals, which means that this is the lowest the price has ever been, or the lowest it's been in the last 12 months or so. If there's an asterisk, which you can find in the video description below. Obviously, you can scan the QR code to get the links or the deals that I'm talking about, or check the links in the video description below. And as always, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out on Minect, and I'll always get back to my Minect messages, which is this one here. So check out Minect, you scan that QR code, and I can always get to these messages. I appreciate you all over there for bearing with me for the second live stream of this one, but I'll show you these right after this. It's brought to you by Samsung and their 9100 Pro NVMe SSDs. Available with a heatsink or not. Bear in mind the heatsink version is also designed to work underneath a GPU on your motherboard slot. Comes in capacities of 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte and 4 terabytes, and also 8 terabytes available very, very soon. It boasts of speeds of up to 14,800 megabytes per second. And now during sales period, hopefully cheaper than ever, and available with a discount. So go check out the latest pricing in the video description below. Right, so if you are tuning for some reason in and you didn't know what happened with that previous stream, oh, it was embarrassing. You can check it out in there. There's a little bit of a delay. Just close your eyes, just listen to me and scan the things on the screen. You can do that. But we're going to keep going because, as you can see, my tab count in there. See, that is still quite a long way off. So this is Crucial X10, 2 terabyte portable SSD, USB 3.2 Gen 2 again, where you can get over 2 gigabytes per second speeds. It's the cheapest it's ever been, so worth checking that out. Back in business, Alexander Bogax is saying. So yes, there we go. SN7100 is on a deal now, back in business. Orico SSD deals, I wouldn't really necessarily go with Orico one. They're very, very average. I think you can get better deals out there unless you find it very, very much cheaper there. But here is a 4 terabyte deal on an SN7100. I really want to test this, like I mentioned in the previous stream, because this is one of the newest Gen 4 drives that have been done in there, and I'd like to know how does this actually pair up with something else that's there. We've got the Acer Predator GM7000 2 terabyte drive, high-end Gen 4 drive. You get really fast speeds and ultra high speed. What is ultra high speed? So they thought marketing, let's not just put high speed in there, let's put ultra high speed, because we've heard that, you know, Apple uses ultra and then there's good deals in there. Crucial T500. I've had lots of people ask me about these things. Is it on a deal? Is it on a deal? Is it on a deal? Well, we see one here. It's $75. Let me have a look at the price history for this. And it's not really a good deal. I mean, 2 years ago, it was 56. In the last 6 months, yeah, in the last 6 months, it's kind of cheapest. But what we're doing here, that's that. Has anyone noticed the mouse I'm using? 1 month Adobe Creative Cloud in all apps. So that is $60. So potentially it's a $6 drive. It's not bad drive. Not bad. Not bad, some say. But I don't have a QR code for this, so hey. Next we have something of this sort. So this is an interesting one because this is a NAS drive, okay? And basically an SSD for NAS means that it's got a much higher terabyte written spec, so it can really sustain them. If you've got a hard drive, terabyte written, there is no terabyte written spec on a hard drive. It's just when it physically fails, which is actually probably a lot longer than an SSD, with an asterisk, not necessarily, but that's how it works. But then you've got these NAS SSD drives that, you know, you need. I've got actually Seagate ones in here. So these are the Iron Wolf Pro NAS ones. They're a lot more expensive than normal SATA SSDs, but it's because they've got a ridiculous terabyte written spec. So usually for 1 terabyte, you've got 600 terabytes written spec. For 4 terabytes, then a normal industry standard like a Samsung 4 terabytes 9100 Pro would be 2400 terabyte written. So let me take a look at this. Tech power up, always good. Although I would like it to be 4 terabytes if that's possible. Yep, 4 terabytes. Let's take a look at our terabyte written spec. Where are we? Actually, slightly disappointing. Just ever so slightly, because it's 1 terabyte higher than usual, which is, you know, not necessarily as good as some of the other ones. So if I'm looking at like Fury Renegade G5 4 terabytes, there we go. Take power up again with our specs here. Take a look at this one. 4000 terabyte written spec, and that's why I've been recommending why this is one of the best ones to actually get, because it's almost twice, very close to double the performance of terabyte written spec, which means that it will last longer. So imagine you've got a car that has either 5-year warranty or 100,000 kilometers. That's roughly what they say. But now suddenly someone says, hey, we're going to put 200,000 kilometers on. It's still 5 years. That makes you think, actually, it's got a lot better, you know, warranty, endurance. That's why it's there. But still a very good deal for 4 terabyte SATA drive for NAS. It's good for that. So Patel is saying, which SSD to pair with Z890 Aorus and i7 265K for gaming and graphic design? Any recommendations? Needs to be available in India. Depends what is your budget, because I would probably have a look at a good option is high-end Gen 4 drives, either Solidigm P44 Pro, SK Hynix, what is it, P41 plus titanium or something like that. They have something like that as well. Then we've got Samsung 990 Pro. Have a look at any of my recent videos of SSD reviews, and then you'll most likely see a lot of stats in there as well, and then take a look at that. How fast is it for video editing and stuff compared to rest? What do you mean? Righty, this is an interesting SSD here, and I've got one somewhere. I wonder where it is. Is it over here? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Okay, I have literally, it's a little dusty. Does anyone, is it the same one? Yeah, it is. Look at that. Boom, shaka, laka. So basically, this is encrypted. I can't even remember if that was, that's what my password this is. So this is a 2 terabyte one. It's SATA speeds, but if I turn it on here, look at this live now. Boom. Can you see how this comes on? a little bit expensive, Will is saying. Yeah, no kidding. Dude, you buy this only if you've got like a government secrets or something in here. So as you can see, you've got a little code in there. Okay, wonder what was my code in there. Also, by the way, they always mix the numbers up on the screen, so you wouldn't have the same fingerprint like on the same pattern in there. So if someone like looks, oh, I can see you've tapped there, 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 and there, then you know you would be able to do it. But let me see if I can get in. I think. Oh my goodness. Incorrect password. 1/20. I can't remember what it was then. Is it incorrect password? I don't know what my password for this is. So let's put that back in there. Do you know how I found out what my password is? I found the review of this when I did this and what the password I set because I showed it on the video. I don't know. Gapster, you naughty boy. That is not the password. Right, anyway. Iron lock. It's so secure even I can't access it. Right. Wirehead. You with your calculator jokes. Right. I guess next SSD. Let's keep going. SN5000, 4 terabytes. I think this one is one of those that has been cheaper, but in the last, yeah. So during the Black Friday, it was a $10 cheaper, but in the last kind of 6 months, this is the cheapest it's been. So if you've been looking for something like that, it's worth there. People don't even know what you're talking about, Wirehead. Good job I did use one of those. Do you know what the funny thing is? My wife taught me that trick. That's I didn't even know how this is, and I was like, what is this? Oh, you know, 5318008. I was like, why do I want to put that on the calculator? Turn it upside down. Right. Samsung 990 Pro. Yes, anti-held. You are definitely right. So this is what I mean, that it's worth, the Gen 5 drives are worth it. There are some on the, like any of the Gen 5 drives right now on a deal. I mean, Sabrent's Gen 5 drives are probably a little bit on the expensive side, but the Fury Renegade is a good option, and Samsung is a good option as well. Kioxia X Seria. Kioxia drives, pretty much all of them are absolutely amazing, so they are, yeah, worth it. So 990 Pro with heatsink, it's a good option. So this is for PS5 or someone who wants Gen 4 drive, 2 terabytes is not a bad option there. Okay, I've got a question there. On a Z890 Aero G from Gigabyte, is it safe to put a Samsung 990 on PCIe 5 and 2 990 Pros on PCIe 4? Yes, definitely. Yeah. The Aero G, I think the top slot does, just double check the motherboard because I'm just saying this from the top of my head, but I do believe the top slot is Gen 5 and it doesn't share bandwidth on the Z890 because you've got more PCIe lanes in there. So, yeah. Risky Boy is saying the real world uses isn't much different on Gen 4 versus Gen 5. Correct. But if you actually take a look at any of my SSD reviews, Now, if you're comparing like a load time or rendering time, then potentially, yeah. But the Gen 5 also has a lot better random read and write speeds. Maybe not all of them, but can have. And what that happens is if you've got a random read and write speed that's faster, basically your whole system, operating system, will feel snappier because it reads those random files a lot faster. Oh, well, did you know that I didn't even have monetization on streaming here for free? You're welcome. Hit that like button if you enjoyed it for free. I put monetization back on, so if you get an advert, it's my fault. Hopefully not during the stream, but maybe before or after, something like that. Just say no. But yeah, so Gen 5 drive really is kind of worth it when you want the best operating system and snappiness of the system. It does make a difference, actually. Is the SN850X 4 terabytes good for video editing? Yeah, it's got good terabyte written spec. It is good. It's good SLC. It's got good SLC cache buffer. It is definitely good. Definitely is good. So let's go to the next one. Gen 4 from Crucial. Not Crucial. Corsair. Okay. Wirehead, YouTube Premium hostage. Actually, I got YouTube Premium as well. So YouTube Premium is definitely worth it, actually. Once you've got it, you don't want to go back, because when I logged into like another computer, whatever, and it didn't have YouTube Premium on, and I was like, what? A 30-second advert? 60-second advert? I can't do that. So basically, yeah, it's good. Need Water is saying, where are you? That the 9100 Pro 2 terabyte has bad random read and write speeds. I only get 60% of what Samsung advertised. I mean, one, you have a faulty drive. Number two, are you sure you've got it on a Gen 5 slot? Number three, is your CPU actually supporting Gen 5? Is there some BIOS setting where that's off? These are just some things I'm thinking from the top of my head. Yeah, AB Clicks is saying, using YouTube Premium for 5 years and I can't go back. I know. I'm the same. It's just insane. YouTube Premium is just so much better without the ads. Well, YouTube is better without the ads, obviously, but YouTube Premium, it is good. It's something that I can constantly keep like subscribed to, even like for our business, because our editors use often like clips and things from movies, and they do research on YouTube, or even if I'm doing, then during the work time, if every single video has like 30 to 1 minute ad in it, imagine how much time I'm wasting. So paying that 12 quid, I think it is, month, including VAT, to YouTube, it's a good deal to actually save money. Should I use a DRAM-enabled SSD for project drive or boot drive? Usually project drive, I would say. Boot drive doesn't necessarily... What I've seen now is, according to benchmarks, the DRAM-less drives can perform very, very good for operating system drives. But when you have a project drive where you're loading big assets on, then DRAM can be a little bit better. So yeah, interesting. Wirehead thinks the opposite. What I've seen is, like, in the consistency test, if you've got DRAM drive and larger capacity, you usually get it better. Need Water saying you only pay $1.50 for YouTube Premium in your country. Oh my goodness. Here in the UK, we have to pay 10 times that. Ouch. Ouch, people. But this is, let's go next one. We've been on here for long enough. So we've got an interesting drive. What should we call this? I don't know. Reminds me of Star Wars or something like that. This is an interesting one. I don't think there is a lot of external SSDs so small that have DRAM. So this does have DRAM, which means your editing and everything will be snappier, better on it. It's pretty cool. Golden Beetle drive from SK Hynix. They know what they're doing. Believe me. I'd love to check that out, actually. So it's $62, cheapest it's ever been. Check it out. Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the memory SD cards and memory cards as well. So Intel i7-14700K is better than some AMD if I want to do video edit, or is there also an AMD option? I'm not sure what you are saying there, but if you're asking if Intel is better for video editing than AMD, then the answer most of the cases is yes. Yes, I don't see why not. But if that is what you're doing, why not buy internal SSD? Because it's cheaper. So then, we are here with the Sabrent CFExpress Type B memory card, 512 gigabytes, 152. This is a good option. Sabrent is a solid brand when it comes to these. This is the bigger one. I wish they had Type A as well. I don't know if they do. Type B, Type B, Type B. Okay, Alexa. It's a random size, isn't it? 320 gigabytes. Per gear. Okay, moving on to the next one. We've got a Rocket Nano. So this is, interestingly, this is USB 3.2 Gen 2 X2, but they've been conservative with the speed. 1,500 megabytes per second, even though that interface could give you 2,000 megabytes per second, which is interesting. But it's on deal. Slightly expensive, I would say. I'd probably make it myself a bit cheaper. I think the next drive is, no, it's not the next one. The same Nano V2, but just 2 terabytes in size. Again, a little bit cheaper. Sabrent does solid stuff. Does anyone use Sabrent? How many of you? So this is a 2230 NVMe SSD, which means tiny one like that. And okay, so say normal NVMe SSD size, and then a small one like that. Boom. And this is for Steam Decks, certain laptops, certain places you only have this small one. So this there is actually a pretty good option of that drive, or that size drive, because it is just in absolutely small. So you really have to pack everything in there. Wirehead is Sabrent 4-bay SSD dock. Wirehead, what I've gathered, you've got absolute tech. Are you a tech hoarder? honest confession now, because you say, oh, I've got this. I don't know how many PCs you've got, because what I've heard and what I've seen on the comments, you've got AMD, you've got Intel, you've got this and that. What are you doing? Risky Boy is saying 22 is good for external enclosure. Yeah, indeed. Do you think that PCIe 6.7 will change the way we see PC tech today? Do you think PCIe Gen 5 changed the way we saw PC tech 8, 7, 10 years ago? What do you think? Okay, Wirehead. I get it now. Running service company, repairing and testing, and I worked in IT for 30 years. Yeah. Well, that explains a lot. Let's just say this much. But there we go. This is the enclosure I was talking to you earlier. Was it this stream or previous stream? Which stream was it? I can't remember now. And there we go. I'm actually using a lot of these. This has almost never let me down. I have to put almost because I don't know. Well, actually, I could probably say this has never let me down. I've had maybe once or twice the camera stopped recording, but I don't know if that was because of the camera or the like cable. But it is fantastic drive. It is slightly more expensive than some of the others out there. You can get them for like maybe $10, but this is one of the best ones just because the sandwich design, how it works as well, the heatsink works. Sometimes you slide it in. This just doesn't work. It is good. That's all I'm going to say. Boys and girls, this is expensive. This is Thunderbolt 5, 4 terabytes, 80 gigabytes per second connection. So we're getting roughly about 7,000 megabytes per second, something like that. You're thinking, that is expensive. Why do we pay that much? You pay that much because if you go, okay, $480. We're going to go for, let's say, Mac Studio. We're going to go buy. We want the M4 Max version. Yes, thank you very much. Bear in mind, the front ports aren't Thunderbolt 4, but, sorry, 5. But the back ones are. And if we want storage, you're going to be sick now. So 3.5 gigabytes costs $1,200. Do you remember how much this was? Like just 800 and what was it, 480? So we are less than half the price. $600 would be half the price, but then we'd still get 500 gigabytes more storage. But I don't need to educate you on this. I'm sure you already know that, you know, Apple's best profit margins are on their storage. Next. Okay, V60 card. If you don't know how to choose the SD card from, by the way, from on your camera, then the V60 will show you how many megabits per second it can write on it. It's actually very, very confusing because if you look at this, it tells you on it, look at that, like read speed 270 megabytes per second. And then on the right, it shows you 170 megabytes per second. And I think that's when you transfer on it. But when you write video on it, on the card, if I'm not mistaken, that V60 will show you that you can get 60 megabits per second video on it. I mean, can someone verify that in the comments? That's how it works. So basically, this is like with this card, I can't record every single codec on my Sony A7S III. Like if I want to do 120 frames per second, 10-bit 422, then it does need the V90 card. But this is V60 card. But most of the things you can get away with writing on this one, just so you know. Boom, 9100 Pro with the heatsink, 4 terabytes, 404. Did you, if you've seen the actual ad for this video, then you know that there is heatsink on this, and the heatsink can actually go underneath the GPU. It's very, very small, which is really, really good. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, we finally got to these guys. These are the bee's knees of everything. These are amazing, amazing drives. And I would say, you know, probably the best drives you can buy right now for creators, anything on the market. Because of the terabyte written spec, the performance, speed, random read, it's like on top of the charts. Go check out the review of this one. It's just the best ones I have tried so far. And the terabyte written spec is very, very impressive for creators. Let's move on. PNY drive, Gen 5 drive, again, a little bit of a lower one because it's only 10 gigabytes and 8.3 gigabytes read-write speeds. But for 1 terabyte, $90, some of the Gen 4 drives are more expensive than this, so potentially worth considering. Corsair MP700 Elite 2 terabyte Gen 5 drive, again around the 10 gigabytes per second speeds. So this is probably the earlier version of the Phison drives, what we have there. Then we've got Sabre Rocket 5, 1 terabyte Gen 5, as you can see, a lot more expensive. 14 gigabytes, not gigabits, gigabytes per second. And Alexander is saying, is it better than the 9100 from Samsung? Yes, sorry, I don't know why. These hiccups. But yes, it is. But not this one. I don't know where it is. The Fury Renegade is, but the Samsung one is still like on top. We're talking about a couple of percentage in performance. But the terabyte written spec on the Kingston one is better than in there. So this is impressive as well. I'd love to test some of the Sabre drives, but I haven't got them in. Fury Renegade G5, 2 terabyte, 1 terabyte, 4 terabyte, all of them on a deal. Absolutely fantastic drives. Another one from Lexa. So this is the higher end ones, 2 terabyte NM1090 Pro, so 1090 Pro, 2 terabytes, roughly around $100 per terabyte is what we're paying there. Then we've got the Aorus Gen 5, again, impressive speeds. Just have a look at the pricing for you. But there are some Gen 5 drives that are impressive pricing. This is the V90 card now, 128 gigabytes, UHS 2, and from Sabrent, the 256 gigabyte is on a deal as well. Interestingly, the dollar price, like bang for buck price per gigabyte, is better on the 128 compared to the 256. Just so you know. No, did that one. SanDisk 256 Extreme Pro V60 card, not a bad price at all, especially for that capacity and speed. And then finally PNY SD card. This is the V90 card, fast speeds, Elite X Pro 90. Boom. Okay. Thank you very much, guys, for tuning in. And again, I'll see you in a very, very short stream, hopefully soon. Thanks for bearing with me. Hit that like button if you haven't already. If you want to reach out, you know how to do it. Links in the description below. What are you most excited about? Leave it in the comments when I'm going to end the stream. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.